A young boy named Raymond helped a millionaire named Tom West change a flat tire, asking for nothing in return. The next day, a black SUV appeared in front of Raymond's house, and what happened next moved the entire neighborhood. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as we dive into this story for more. Tom sat behind the wheel of his luxury SUV, tapping his fingers against the steering wheel. The road stretched out before him, empty, flanked by tall grass swaying in the summer heat. He glanced at his watch, muttering under his breath. He had an important meeting in less than an hour. As the car sped along the narrow rural road, there came a jarring bump followed by the unmistakable thump-thump of a flat tire. "Of course. Just perfect," he muttered, his voice dripping with frustration. Tom sighed, pulling over to the side of the road, his luxury vehicle kicking up a cloud of dust. The heat hit him as soon as he stepped out, and he winced, adjusting his suit jacket and loosening his tie. He knelt beside the tire, inspecting the shredded rubber, and cursed under his breath. His phone had no signal. With no one to rely on, Tom was stuck, stranded on a deserted road with no cell service. Suddenly, in the distance, a figure appeared, a young boy, about 14 years old, walking toward him. The boy wore a faded t-shirt and old sneakers, his determined expression unmistakable. "Hey, mister. Got trouble with your car?" Raymond called out, stopping a few steps away. Tom hesitated but admitted, "Yeah, a flat tire. And I don't exactly know how to fix it." "I can do it. My dad showed me how," Raymond replied confidently. Tom was skeptical but desperate. "You're sure?" "Sure, no big deal." "Got a spare?" "I'll take a look," Raymond said. Within minutes, Raymond had retrieved the spare tire and tools from the SUV, working with precision. Tom watched in disbelief as Raymond swiftly replaced the tire, ignoring the dirt and sweat. "All done," Raymond said, standing and wiping his hands on his jeans. Tom pulled out his wallet, offering some cash. "Here for your trouble." Raymond shook his head. "Nah, I don't need that. Just wanted to help." Before Tom could insist, Raymond waved and walked away, disappearing down the road. Tom stood there, stunned, the cash still in his hand. The boy's kindness was disarming, and it lingered in Tom's mind long after he drove off. That night, the encounter weighed heavily on Tom. The boy's genuine goodwill unsettled him. Used to a life where everything had a price, Tom couldn't understand Raymond's simple act of kindness. The next morning, Tom felt compelled to return to the area. He found Raymond's modest home, knocked on the door, and was greeted by Raymond's mother. When Raymond appeared, his face lit up with recognition. "I couldn't stop thinking about what you did for me," Tom admitted. "I want to thank you properly." Raymond smiled. "I told you, mister, it was no big deal." But Tom was persistent. "Please, there must be something I can do for you or your family." After some hesitation, Raymond's mother invited Tom in for breakfast. They shared a simple meal, and during the conversation, Tom realized the warmth and connection he'd been missing in his own life. Before leaving, Tom promised, "I want to help, not because I owe you, but because I want to." Raymond smiled, nodding. "Sure thing, mister. Let's figure something out." And with that, Tom left, feeling a shift within himself, a newfound appreciation for the simple yet profound impact of genuine human kindness. Tom left Raymond's house with a strange sense of fulfillment, something he hadn't felt in years. The modest breakfast they'd shared, the laughter, and the genuine warmth of their small talk lingered with him. It was a far cry from the sterile, transactional interactions of his high-powered world. As he drove away, his mind buzzed with ideas. He didn't just want to offer a handout, he wanted to make a lasting impact. The next day, a sleek black SUV pulled up again in front of Raymond's house. Raymond and his mother were outside, tending to their small vegetable garden. They exchanged puzzled glances as Tom stepped out, holding a large folder. "Morning, Raymond," Tom greeted, his tone warm but purposeful. He glanced at Raymond's mother. "Ma'am, if you don't mind, I'd like to discuss something important. Raymond's mother hesitated but nodded. Come on in. Once inside, Tom laid the folder on the kitchen table and opened it, revealing a series of documents. I've been thinking a lot about what you said, Raymond. About helping people just because it's the right thing to do, Tom began, his voice steady. I want to help, but in a way that empowers you and your family, not just today, but for the future. Raymond leaned forward, curious. What do you mean? Tom pointed to the papers. This is a proposal to start a community center right here in your neighborhood. A place where kids can learn life skills, access resources, and find mentorship. It'll have everything: after-school programs, a library, even vocational training. Raymond's eyes widened. You want to build that? Here? Tom nodded. With your help. You'll be my first youth ambassador. You'll have a say in how it's run, what programs it offers. This isn't charity, Raymond, it's partnership. Raymond's mother gasped softly, tears welling up in her eyes. Mr. Tom. This is more than we could ever dream of. Tom smiled, feeling a genuine connection forming. It's not just about dreams, it's about action. And it starts now. Word spread quickly. Within days, the quiet neighborhood buzzed with excitement. Construction crews arrived, and Tom was there every step of the way, often with Raymond at his side. The boy's confidence grew as he helped coordinate meetings, shared ideas, and even inspired his peers to get involved. The grand opening of the center was nothing short of spectacular. Families gathered, music played, and laughter echoed through the air. Tom stood at the podium, addressing the crowd. Today isn't just about cutting a ribbon, he said, his voice carrying. It's about cutting through barriers. It's about opportunity, community, and hope. He glanced at Raymond, who stood proudly beside him. And it's about people like Raymond, who remind us all that sometimes, a small act of kindness can spark a movement. The crowd erupted in applause, but it was Raymond's wide grin that caught Tom's attention. For the first time in years, Tom felt like he wasn't just a man with wealth, he was a man with purpose. And in that moment, he realized, the boy hadn't just helped him fix a flat tire. Raymond had helped him fix something far more important, his perspective on life. As the applause died down, Tom handed the microphone to Raymond, who hesitated for a moment before stepping forward. His voice was steady, but his words carried the weight of someone wise beyond his years. This center isn't just for me, Raymond began, his eyes scanning the crowd. It's for all of us. For every kid who feels like they don't have a shot. For every family trying to make it through tough times. Mr. Tom might have had the idea, but it's up to us to make it something real. The crowd murmured their agreement, and Tom felt a swell of pride. Raymond wasn't just a partner, he was a leader. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of activity. The community center quickly became the heart of the neighborhood. Kids poured in after school, eager to learn coding, carpentry, and even cooking. Parents found solace in job workshops and financial planning sessions. And through it all, Raymond thrived. His natural leadership shone as he mentored younger kids and organized events. He had a knack for bringing people together, and the center flourished under his guidance. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Tom and Raymond sat on the center's front steps, watching kids play basketball on the newly paved court. You know, Tom said, breaking the comfortable silence, I used to think success was measured in numbers. Bank accounts, deals closed, properties owned. Raymond tilted his head, listening. But now, Tom continued, his voice soft, I realize it's measured in moments like these. Seeing lives change. Feeling connected. That's the real wealth. Raymond nodded thoughtfully. I think you're right. And it all started with a flat tire. They both chuckled, the memory now a shared joke. But beneath the laughter was an unspoken understanding. That single moment had set them both on a path neither could have predicted. Months later, the community center gained recognition beyond the neighborhood. Local news outlets covered its success, and philanthropists from neighboring cities reached out, wanting to replicate the model. One afternoon, Tom received a letter from a foundation offering a significant grant. He called Raymond into his office at the center. "Looks like we've got more work to do," Tom said, handing him the letter. Raymond read it, his eyes widening. "This is huge. What are we going to do with it?" Tom grinned. "Expand? More programs, more opportunities. Maybe even open another center in a nearby community." Raymond's excitement was infectious. "We could help so many more people." Tom leaned back in his chair, watching the young man's enthusiasm. "You know, Raymond, you've got a bright future ahead. Ever thought about running something bigger than this center one day?" Raymond looked up, his eyes full of determination. "Maybe. But for now, I just want to keep making a difference right here." Tom nodded, respecting the wisdom in those words. "That's what makes you special, Raymond. You see the value in every moment, every connection." The center became a symbol of hope, a beacon in a world often clouded by indifference. And as Tom and Raymond worked side by side, they proved that with the right mindset, a single act of kindness could ripple out, transforming not just a neighborhood but countless lives beyond it. And in the quiet moments, when the world felt still, Tom would often reflect on that fateful day on the side of the road. It wasn't just a flat tire that changed his life. It was a boy's unwavering kindness. A simple yet profound reminder that sometimes, the most powerful changes begin with the smallest gestures.